What is going on, guys? Drew here from Prodigy Make Gaming, coming to you with the 4th episode of Road to the Show third baseman Drew Cuthill, and today we are starting in a stolen base skill assessment. You steal about 12 bases or whatever. You get points based on it, and if you do well, you get enough skill points to, use them towards attribute upgrades. And going into our first game, we're playing at home, and in the first inning, in our first at bat, Sky went out to center field. It's kind of a blooper. Center fielder dives right past it, and it turns into an easy double for us. We will get credit for that one, not an error. It's going to be lucky. And going into the third inning, we have our second at bat and a 1-0 count, looking for something to drive, and instead I dribble one over to the shortstop, who makes a fantastic barehanded play. I was kind of annoyed by that. Never really see that in real life. And coming into our first fielding opportunity in fourth inning, we get a bunt, we rush it and make that 6 submarine throw to get those 8 training points and just nab him at first. Coming back to the plate in the fourth inning, first and second, we have a full count. We worked a pretty good at bat with 1 out. I was looking for something to drive, and I had to swing at any strike, and I couldn't wait on it any longer. I rolled over, and the first baseman makes a really good scoop right there to double me up on the 6-4-3. But we get another chance in the 6th. First and second again with 1 out, hoping not to ground out into double play this time. And we get the pitch from the relief pitcher. We guessed a high fastball. We smoke one out to right field, but just right to the right fielder. Nothing we can do about that one. Solid contact, but it's going to go for an out for us. Back in the field in the 7th. We're looking to field a bunt here with no outs. There's a man on first. I thought about throwing this one to second, but instead I play the safe. I take the safe route and throw it to first. We make another nice play, just like before on the bunt. We get 12 training points. And going into the 8th, we are tied 3-3, no one on. I'm looking to start a rally for my team here, put one out in the outfield. So I'm using power swings, and I swing right through a sinker there. It's 80 miles an hour. That's a ridiculous sinker. I was expecting something hard to come in there. Instead, I was completely ahead of it. And then we get this slider, and I just dribble it down the third base. I thought it might get through for a second, but it didn't. And we're going to be out. And at the end of that game, we end up losing. And on to the next one. Still playing at home. The men on first, no outs in the first inning. We drive one to center. And that little tutorial pops up. We drive one to center over the center fielder's head. An absolute bomb. Stays in the park though. And we move him over to third base. Now we're second and third early in the game. Get 17 quick training points. It's really nice for us. Moving on to the third inning, we're up with 1 out and no one on. We did get a run in last inning, and I was thrown out at the plate. So now we have a chance in the third to do it again. We guessed a high fastball, and we drive on the left, but not far enough. We got a little bit ahead of it, and the left fielder was able to get under it in time. Which brings us to the 5th, where we're down 3-1. We're starting to wear out the starter a little bit. We get a 2-2 count here. And we get something we can hit, a hanging curve, and I just get a little bit under it. A little bit more up, and that one could have been put into the seats, but instead it's going to be a fly out. But we still get some good training points out of it. Now coming up in the 6th, we're 1 for 3, winning the game by 3. I'm just looking to drive in some extra insurance, and I hit one right off the pitcher's foot. I was kind of annoyed by that. It's kind of funny, hits the pitcher's foot, but if it got by him, we would have got that RBI. It's kind of irked I didn't get it. But now we're coming up 2 for 4 in the 8th. We're absolutely blowing them out now. And I'm just looking to add some more runs to rub it in their face. We get one high and rip it down the third base line. Gets right under the third baseman's glove. And the third base coach doesn't send him. And we almost round first too far and get thrown out. But we get no RBIs. Still a good hit. We bat 3 for 5 in that game. Can't complain at all. Going into the third one. At home, we got a nice day game here. First inning, we're batting second. I get one up and in. I'm just late on it, and we flare it out to right. It's going to be a fly out early on. Coming into the next at bat in the top of the third, we're still down 1-0, facing that same starter who jammed me last time. So I get the high fastball again, and I try to get ahead of it. I do just that, but unluckily it goes right to the shortstop, and I ground out. Going 0 for 2 now. See what we can do later in the game. When we come up in the 6th with 1 out again, nobody on. We haven't gotten any chances with base runners. This pitcher's been throwing an absolute gem. We've been shut out till now. and then I rip one almost off his foot, but it gets through to the center fielder, and that will keep the hitting streak going for us. I think it's like 8 games now or something. And in the 7th, we had a chance to men on first to take the lead, and we just flare one out to right, kind of deep, but right fielder gets under it, nothing doing in that at bat. Final chance in the game. We're down 3-2 with a man on second, 1 out. This is a chance to show some clutch batting here, get the run in and tie it up. I look at a fastball low. I probably could have driven that one, but I was really looking for my pitch here. And with an 0-1 count, the closer gives me one, a changeup right down the middle. That's a meatball, but I get under it again. It was really frustrating. I just dinked one out to center field, kind of deep, but it's going to be a really easy play for the center fielder. And there's 2 down the inning. We end up losing. Going into the 4th game, we're playing Trenton again. Trenton Thunder, we swept them in the opening series. And in my first at-bat, I get a hanging curveball that I put out in the center field for a flyout. We still get the 12 training points, though, for solid contact in my first at-bat. With another chance in the 3rd with a man on second and 2 outs, I'm looking to poke one through the infield and get him home, get an early RBI and put us on the board. We get the pitch we want, the high fastball, and I drive it out to center, but just not far enough, right to the center fielder. Couldn't put it in a gap. Unlucky there. In our 3rd at bat in the game, in the 5th inning, we have men on first and second and 1 out. Got a 1-1 count, and I get that high fastball that I like, and I drive it right past the shortstop. That's going to score 1, and then it gets past the left fielder, so it ends up scoring 2, and I selfishly try to take 3 from him, and I get nabbed out. But we still get 30 training points for the extra base hit and the 2 RBIs, and lasting really long in the at-bat. And late in the game, we had a chance to go ahead here, and I just dribbled one out to first base, and we end up 6-0 in the 8th inning. I have a chance to extend, try to drive one in the outfield, improve my batting average, pad the stats, and instead I ground up to 3rd, a little bit frustrated there. I slide in the 1st. Only 2 training points there. And after this one, I go and upgrade my player. I upgrade his power and his plate vision. And if you don't know what plate vision is, it's that reticle right there. It's the yellow zone that I'm trying to lock in on as I put one past the second baseman. I thought that was an error, but I actually did get hit credit for that. And we almost rounded too far, selfishly, trying to take second, and I'm able to squirm back safely. Coming up in the 3rd, up 2-0, no one out. Trying to get a rally going, try to put us up deep and chase the starting pitcher, and instead I put one into the gap just a little bit too high, and the center fielder is able to get under it. 1 for 2 in this game. I come up in the 5th inning. We're still up 2-0. Trenton's not really threatening as of yet. And I get the pitch I can hit, and I drive one out right to left field. Just a solid single. We'll take that all day. We get 14 training points there for our base hit and the solid contact. And in the 7th, I have a chance to put some RBIs on for today. We're still up 2-0. Our pitchers, we're doing a really good job against Trenton, taming them. And I fly out to center field. It's kind of been the theme of this video. I've been under a lot of balls, just poking them out to center field. Not really deep enough to get over the center fielder's head, not bloopy enough to get under him. And I get a chance in the 1st inning. We're already down 4-0, and I thought I drove one over the center fielder's head, but as I said before, we're just not being able to get it over their heads. We don't have enough power. That's something we really got to focus on using our training points for. And in the 3rd inning, up 5-0. This is one I put right back at the pitcher, and it gets through to the center fielder, and we're going to get a hit today. It could extend our hitting streak. That's 11 games now. It's really impressive for Double-A. And losing 9-0, getting blown out in this one, all I'm thinking is home run. There's nothing I can really do to help my team driving in runs. We're really down 9-0, and I put one pretty deep in the right field, but the right fielder is able to get under it. And we're still not threatening as we're getting blown out 12-0 in the 7th. Men on 1st and 3rd. Just trying to get some RBI here with 1 out. And I guess the high fastball, and again, I fly out to the center fielder. It was really frustrating in this one. These 6 games I kept on flying out to center field with runners in scoring position. It's quite annoying, and for some reason the dumbass third base coach sends some guy with 20 speed home and he gets thrown out looking like a fool. And in the 9th we have first and third, still getting blown out. Nothing we can really do about it except for that we clock one in the left center field, put it right onto the green there, about 400 feet. We get 36 training points. As you can see in the replay right here, we absolutely get a hold of a low fastball. I was able to get my zone on it, power swing, and just thrash that one into the gap, put it onto the Capitol Hill right there. And ending the gameplay in this episode, I go in here to upgrade my stats a little bit. As you can see, I messed with the power. And going into the player review here, Pablo Sandoval, he's playing alright right now. He's batting .304. That's pretty good at the start of the season, but we're playing even better. I'm trying to chase Pablo Sandoval out of his starting spot. That's all I got for you guys today. Tune in for the next episode. See ya.